Hi everyone, I'm Heather Wen, a retired nurse practitioner and the founder and practitioner at Arizona Healing Alternatives. On this channel you'll find several videos, what I like to call aha moments, where we'll be discussing issues that impact your health. So whether you decide to use Western medicine, alternative medicine, or even a mix of both, I'm passionate about you knowing what your options are. So I grew up watching The Love Boat. Should I admit that? Because that shows my age. But basically, I grew up watching it. I thought it was so cute, although everything got solved like in 30 minutes to an hour. But basically, we're going to be talking about kind of like The Love Boat. Which cabin are you in? Are you in the falling in love aspect of the cabin? Or are you in the, oh my gosh, I'm in something I shouldn't be in and needing to get off that boat right away? I'm doing a 5-part series all about love, whether it's falling in love to then needing to get out of love when love is turning kind of dangerous. So with that said, I want it so important that you know that this series, this love series, is not for kids. All of my videos I put on YouTube are not for children, but especially this is not for kids. This is going to be talking about love from part 1 is going to be about love and the definitions of love and what's that about, too, especially since we're in February Love Month. It's going to be about the second part of the positive aspects, the chemical reactions from love to lust to all sorts of things. That's why kids cannot be listening to this. And then part 3, starting in March, we're going to be talking about some more serious things, like some of the drawbacks of love and negative aspects of those chemical reactions, to then go into abuse, which I know is a pretty heavy subject, but it's really important because I saw it every day and sometimes continue to see it in my practice today. And then going into a very specific personality type or type of abuse, which is narcissism, which we're going to go into. So the disclaimers are not for kids. And also, once I've always said in like my other communication videos, I am not a licensed clinical psychologist or psychiatrist or marriage and family counselor. I don't have that background. I have a background in helping people as a nurse practitioner and a background now in emotional reprogramming through applied kinesiology and hypnosis. But I am going to put in this series slides up because they came from some very, very good articles on the subject, and this particular website also takes people to where you can get help, and I'm going to be putting those things up because if it's beyond what I can do, I want you to know where you can get some help. So stay tuned for our love series and figuring out on the Love Boat which cabin you're in. So welcome to part 1 of the love series. Now that it's February, and with February, you know, I've always said that I think love should go all year round and not just, you know, for the commercial aspects of it. But basically today, let's even look at the definition of love. And definitions are different types and different things that they come from, and the definitions of it, and then what does love really mean to you? And what are the differences with men and women in that? So if we start out, the definition of love is actually to have a deep affection for something, someone, having a deep feelings of affection. Pretty broad, isn't it? So many things are written about love. We have so many love songs, and All You Need Is Love, thank you the Beatles, and all sorts of different things that describe love. So there are actually different definitions depending on, there's like the Greeks and, you know, in Hebrew, all sorts of different things that describe different types of love. So there can be the love of, you know, a friend, there can be romantic love, there can be love of all sorts of different things, from friendship to the romance to all sorts of different things. And also there are big differences in men and women, and these are generalities, so don't get me wrong, but in men and women in what constitutes love versus what constitutes lust versus what constitutes just chemical reactions. For women, it can be very different than for men, and sometimes that's really difficult because just like in that, you know, in the books where, you know, men and women aren't communicating, you know, and I've done series on communication and things like that, that they can communicate very differently. And some people are just after the physical aspects of it, and some are more into the intimate aspects and things like that. And there are differences in how we communicate, which can be why love sometimes goes awry into what people are wanting or what people are expecting. And the important thing is to know, well, where are you at? Is this a love because you love somebody because you care about them? Is this a love because it's romantic love? And that goes into chemical stuff that we'll go into next in part 2 of this. But basically, love is so amazing, and it's a feeling, and it's chemically driven, and it's chemically driven in our bodies, which is fascinating. So when you look at love and you start to look at this month, is it about the cards? Is it about things that you get? Is it love? I mean, there's love languages. There's that book on love languages where how is it that you express or that you need love? And where we start, similar to some of my videos that I've done on identifying your own emotions and things like that, is to know what is it you want from life. Because many people get disappointed with when we have all this stuff and we look on the TV and this is, we see things solved in such a short amount of time, and we don't really give people the background to know how to navigate love and what to do with those definitions and what they decide to do with love in general. And so we can set all these expectations that if my relationship doesn't look like, Hallmark Channel, or it doesn't look like a movie, or it doesn't look like that, then what's wrong with me? And so it's really important to know that there is fantasy and there's reality and there's all sorts of different things in between. And depending on what you want, it's, I know for men and women, we were talking about differences that, little girls are raised, a Prince Charming comes up and he looks like this, and this is what happens in all the fairy tales. Unfortunately, these days, things are getting a little bit more realistic, but that still doesn't mean that you have to, when it comes to love, that you have to settle for something that's not okay. And we're going to get into that a little bit later in the series. But for right now, just kind of figuring out, what do you want? What do you need in your life? And how to go about getting it. What is it you want as far as love goes? Because you're capable of manifesting anything you've ever wanted. So that being the case, what does that mean to you? Some people, they just want kind of a friendship sort of thing. Some people want that romantic thing. And some people want love that goes beyond, the love of parents and children, all sorts of different things. And some people don't want kids. Some people want kids. All of these different options. That's what's so cool about love, is there's so many different options out there for you. Love of self is a huge one. To learn to love ourselves, and then through that we love others. So it's one of those things that you have to decide for yourself what you want in your life. All those different types of love, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Everybody has different personalities. But I want you to start thinking about, what do I want to attract in my life? What do I want and what do I need to attract in my life? And so now what we'll do in the next part is we're going to be talking about the chemical stuff, like how much are we in control of and how much aren't we, and how can we control our own hormones and everything else that's going on. So think about what you want, think about the love that you need and the love that you want and the love that you want to share, and we'll be talking again real soon.